The screen went black, and his voice cut through the silence. I pay the bills now. This is my house. My own living room felt like foreign territory in that instant. For 2 years, my son-in-law Mark, and my daughter, Chloe, had shared my home. What began as a temporary stay had hardened into an unspoken takeover. That evening was just the final, undeniable proof. He'd marched in, remote in hand, and killed the documentary I was watching. Chloe stared at the floor, a statue of silent complicity. I didn't argue. I just stood, collected my purse from the hall table, and walked out into the cooling night. But I wasn't running away. I was going to war, armed with the one weapon he never considered, the truth on paper. The next morning, a knock echoed through that same house. It wasn't me returning. Welcome to Winds of Thought. If you've ever felt your own space slip away, stay with me. That armchair wasn't just furniture. It was where I'd grieved my husband, read 1,000 books, and found moments of peace. The fabric was worn thin in the exact shape of me. Mark saw it as outdated, an eyesore in his domain. His contempt wasn't in shouts, often, but in sighs, in eye rolls, in the way he'd accidentally unplug my lamp. Chloe's silence was the mortar holding my prison walls together. You don't need to be yelled at to be evicted from your own life. A quiet dismissal can be just as final. That night, in a tidy hotel room that smelled of lemons, I made a call, not to a friend for sympathy, but to a lawyer I knew from my old job at the county assessor's office. "Eleanor," David said, his voice steady. "What's happened?" I looked at the skyline. "I need to legally remove 2 occupants from my property, effective immediately." There was a pause. He knew I didn't deal in hyperbole. "What's the cause?" I repeated Mark's words verbatim. "And Chloe," I said. She said nothing. Another pause. "We'll serve notice tomorrow, 30 days. My associate, Kara, will deliver it." The following morning, I sat in David's sleek office, signing documents with a hand that did not shake. The deed, the tax records, every page a brick, in my own defense. Across town, Kara, a woman in a sharp gray suit, would be ringing my doorbell. I sipped bitter waiting room coffee. It tasted like clarity. My phone erupted. Chloe's name flashed, a frantic heartbeat on the screen. I let it ring. On the 3rd vibration, I answered. "Mom, there's a woman here with papers." "Mark is furious." "What is this?" Her voice was a jagged wire. "It's an eviction notice, Chloe," I said, my tone level. "Read it with him. The free ride is over." I ended the call. That small red button held more power than any remote. David peered out. "The storm has landed." I nodded. "Right on schedule." The financial severance came next. From my hotel desk, I suspended the internet, the premium cable, the grocery card I'd let Chloe use. Each call to a service center was a suture, closing a wound I'd let bleed for too long. An hour later, my bank app chimed. Transaction declined. $92.50. Gourmet Market. A text from Mark buzzed immediately. "Your card's broken. Fix it." I typed back. "It's not broken. It's been retired, just like your privileges." I placed the phone face down and finished my tea. The silence was magnificent. I needed a uniform, not for revenge, but for resolve. In a department store, I chose a charcoal blazer and trousers. In the fitting room mirror, I saw a trustee of my own estate, not a guest in my own narrative. The formal meeting was set for 10 a.m. The conference room was cold. David and I sat on one side. They entered like a broken parade. Mark, puffed up but pale. Chloe, crumbling behind him. He tried to bluster about rights, about family, adverse possession, he declared, as if he'd discovered fire. I almost smiled. "That requires the owner's absence and non-payment of taxes," I said. "I've been here, and I've paid every bill. You've just been occupying." David slid the financial audit across the table. The so-called investments were casino withdrawals and luxury brand charges. The savings for their future was a myth. Chloe's face, as she read it, was the collapse of a shared delusion. I laid out the terms. 30 days, no restored amenities. Any harassment would result in a police report, sent directly to his employer's HR department. His bluster deflated, leaving only a sullen fear. I turned to my daughter. "You can choose to drown with a man who sees you as a financial accessory, or you can choose to swim. I am your mother, but I am not your life raft. A house is built with wood and stone, but a home is built with respect. You cannot have one without the other." In the hallway after, the air felt lighter. My phone rang. "Chloe, I didn't get in the car with him," she whispered. "Where are you?" I asked. "Walking." "Good," I said. "Keep walking." On the 30th day, I didn't go home. I went to a botanical garden and watched koi fish glide through still water. The movers came and went under Kara's supervision. At dusk, I returned. The air inside was different, lighter, emptier, full of potential. I opened every window. I cleaned not with anger, but with ceremony, scrubbing away the ghost of their occupation, the ring marks, the psychic grime. I repainted the living room, a soft, warm terracotta. It was no longer a family room for a fractured family. It was my living space. Chloe visited a week later, knocking first. We drank tea in the terracotta room. She'd rented a small apartment, started divorce proceedings. He said, "You broke the family." She said, "No," I replied. I just stopped bankrolling the lie. She asked if she could come by, sometimes, just to talk, as a guest. I said yes. The door is open to guests. It is permanently closed to tenants. Now, my Wednesday afternoons have a new purpose. My friend Sophia brought over her cousin, who was being pressured to sign over her condo. We sat at my table with tea and documents. I showed her where the property line was drawn on the county map, and where the personal boundary needed to be drawn with her son. We practiced saying, "I'll think about it, and my lawyer will need to review this." Her shoulders straightened with each word. This is my new quiet time, not just for me, but for us, because the greatest lesson wasn't about houses or deeds. It was about agency. Ownership isn't just a name on a title. It's the unwavering right to set the terms of your own life, to choose the silence, the company, and the volume of your own world. If this story resonated with you, if you believe in reclaiming your own space, please show Winds of Thought some support. Hit the like button, and subscribe for more journeys into finding clarity and strength. Let me know in the comments, have you ever had to rebuild a personal boundary? I read every one. And now, 2 of our most powerful stories are waiting for you on the screen. Choose your next moment of insight.